जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सदृशे श्रीमद His Divine Grace श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
जय
नमाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय।
जय
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय।
जय
जय
राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय।
जय
जय
गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय।
जय
नंद देवी की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय।
जय
ग्रंथ राज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद्
जय
भगवद गीता की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे
हरि
हरे।
हरि बोल।
All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare
हरे
Krishna.
कृष्णा
All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare
हरे
Krishna.
कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा
Glories to the assembled devotees. Hare
हरे
Krishna.
कृष्णा
All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories
हरि
to
हरि
Jagat
बोल।
Guru Srila
श्री गुरु
Prabhupada.
श्री गौरंगा हरि हरि बोल।
नमस्कार।
Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, please accept my most respectful obeisances at all your lotus feet. And thank you again for giving this opportunity to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. Please empower me so I can speak for the pleasure of Krishna, Guru, and all the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. Vancha
हरे
kalpate
कृष्ण
kripa sindhu
मेरे माता
patitana
पिता नाम पावने
संभावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
नमो नमः।
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Jai.
की जय।
So today we have to start Canto 2, Chapter 7 and Text 19. Let me share my screen. So hope everyone can
यस
able
माता जी वी कैन सी।
to start the prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम
ओम
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय
वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम
ओम
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye Nashya Prayeshu Abhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavatin Uttama Bhaktir Bhavati Nishtaki Shunvatam Swakata Krishnaha Punya Shavana Kirtanaha Hridyantastogia Bhadrani Vidunoti Suvritsatam. So today verse 2719. Tubhyam च नारद भृशं भगवान् विविर्धा भावेन साधु परितुष्ट उवाच योगम् ज्ञानं च भागवतम् आत्मसतत्त्वदीपम् यद्वासुदेव शरणाविदुरञ्जसैव तुभ्यं च नारद भृशं भगवान् विविर्ता भावेन साधु परितुष्ट उवाच योगम् ज्ञानं च भागवतम् आत्मसतत्प्रदीपम् यद्वासुदेव शरणाविदुरञ्जसैव तुभ्यं च नारद भृशं भगवान् विविर्ता भावेन साधु परितुष्ट उवाच योगम् ज्ञानं च भागवतम् आत्मसतत्त्वदीपम् यद्वासुदेवशरणा विदुरञ्जसैव. Devotees.
हरे कृष्ण तुभ्यं च नारद भृशं भगवान् विवद भावेन साधु परितुष्ट उवाच योगम् ज्ञानं च भागवत आत्मसतत्त्वदीपम् यद्वासुदेव शरणा विदुरञ्जसैव.
Thank you.
Tubhyam Shanara Vrisham Bhagavan Vividha Bhavena Saru Paritushta Uvacha Yogam Jnanam Cha Bhagavatam Atma Satattva Deepam Yad Vasudeva Sharana Vidur Anjasaiva.
Krishna.
तुभ्यं च नारदभृशं भगवान् विवृद्धा भावेन साधु परितुष्ट उवाच योगम् ज्ञानं च भागवतमात्मसतत्त्वदीपं यद्वासुदेवशरणाविदुरञ्जसैव.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
तुभ्यं च नारद भृशं भगवान् विवृद्ध भावेन साधु परितुष्ट उवाच योगम् ज्ञानं च भगवतम् आत्मा शतद्भदीपम् यद्वासुदेव शरणा विदुरञ्जसैव. हरे
Hare
कृष्ण.
Krishna.
तुभ्यं च नारद वृषं भगवान् विबिर्था भावेन साधु परितुष्ट विवाच योगम् ज्ञानं च भागवतम् आत्मसतत्त्वदीपम् यद्वासुदेव शरणं विदुरज्ञसेवा सेवा. हरे कृष्ण.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
तुभ्यं च नारद वृषं भगवान् विवृद्ध भावेन साधु परितुष्ट उवाच युगम् ज्ञानं च भगवतमात्मशतत्तदीपम् यद्वासुदेवशरण विदुरञ्जसैव. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we can go to synonyms. Tubhyam, unto you, Cha, also, Narada, O Narada, Vrisham, very nicely, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Vivirda, developed, Bhavena, by transcendental love, Sadhu, your goodness, Paritushtaha, being satisfied, Vacha, described, Yogam, service, Jnanam, knowledge, Cha, also, Bhagavatam, the science of God and his devotional service. Atma, the self, Satattva, with all details, Deepam, just like the light in the darkness, yet that which, Vasudeva Sharana, those who are soul surrendered unto Lord Vasudeva. Viduhu, know them, Anjasa, perfectly well, Eva, as it is. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace by Charanarvindesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. O Narada, you were taught about the science of God and his transcendental loving service by the personality of Godhead in his incarnation of Hamshavatara. He was very much pleased with you due to your intense proportion of devotional service. He also explained unto you lucidly the full science of devotional service, which is especially understandable by persons who are souls surrendered unto Lord Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead. Purport. The devotee and devotional service are two correlative terms. Unless one is inclined to be a devotee of the Lord, he cannot enter into the intricacies of devotional service. Lord Sri Krishna wanted to explain the Bhagavad Gita which is a science of devotional service, unto Sri Arjuna, because Arjuna was not only his friend but a great devotee as well. The whole process is that all living entities, being constitutionally parts and parcels of the Supreme Living Being, the absolute personality of God had proportionately minute independence of action also. So, the preliminary qualification for entering into the devotional service of the Lord is that one become a willing cooperator, and as such, one should voluntarily cooperate with persons who are already engaged in the transcendental devotional service of the Lord. By cooperating with such persons, the prospective candidate will gradually learn the techniques of devotional service. And with the progress of such learning, one becomes proportionately free from the contamination of material association. Such a purificatory process will establish the prospective candidate in firm faith and gradually elevate him to the stage of transcendental taste for such devotional service. Thus, he acquires a genuine attachment for the devotional service of the Lord, and his conviction carries him on to the point of ecstasy, just prior to the stage of transcendental love. Such knowledge of devotional service may be divided into two sections, namely, preliminary knowledge of the nature of the devotional service and the secondary knowledge of its execution. Bhagavatam is in relation with the personality of Godhead, his beauty, fame, opulence, dignity, attraction, and transcendental qualities which attract one towards him for exchanges of love and affection. There is a natural affinity of the living entity for the loving service of the Lord. This affinity becomes artificially covered by the influence of material association, and Srimad Bhagavatam helps one very genuinely remove that artificial covering. Therefore, it is particularly mentioned herein that Srimad Bhagavatam acts like the lamp of transcendental knowledge. These two sections of transcendental knowledge in devotional service becomes revealed to a person who is a soul surrendered unto Vasudeva. As it is said in the Bhagavad Gita 7:19, such a great soul, fully surrendered unto the lotus feet of Vasudeva, is very, very rare. Om Ajnanatimidandasya ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा माह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाशदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं हरि ओम् तत्सत्। Translation. O Narada, you were taught about the science of God and his transcendental loving service by the personality of Godhead in his incarnation of Hamshavatara. He was very much pleased with you due to your intense proportion of devotional service. He also explained unto you lucidly the full science of devotional service, which is especially understandable by persons who are soul surrendered unto Lord Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead. So once again, I offer my humble, respectful obeisances to all of you. So we are seeing here Brahmaji is explaining the different Leela avatars, the pastimes of the Lord, different Leela avatars. Brahma is explaining to Narada Muni. And in this particular chapter, we saw that a different incarnation like Varagdev, Dattatreya, Prithu Maharaj, Narsimadev, and Bali Maharaj. So all these incarnations was explained by Brahmaji. And here he's telling that Narada Muni, he already learned about the science of devotional service from Hamsavatar. So there was a incarnation of the Lord as a Hamsavatar, the swan incarnation. So I try to find what is that Hamsavatar. So it is given in 11th canto, 13th chapter about the Hamsavatar. So actually when Brahmaji also, he got agitated to perform his duties. So because he was still in this material world, right? So material world, if we are, so then obviously we get agitated by the three modes of material nature. So he got agitated in performing his duties because he have a lot of responsibilities that putting the jiva in different bodies and according to their karma, according to their desire, whether they are destined to go there. So all those calculations as Brahmaji have to do. So he's doing all those duties, but he got little agitated, like how I am going to do all these things. So at that time, Sanat Kumar, like four Kumaras and Narada Muni, so they approached and they asked, so what is the solution that if you get agitated? So then Brahmaji prayed to the Lord, and the Lord come in the form of Hamsavatar, and he explained how actually we should get out of this material entanglement and the influence of the material modes of nature. So how we should come out of the sense gratification. So all those details Lord explained in the form of Hamsavatar. So that is the background of this Hamsavatar. And in this particularly, he talks about how Narada Muni is actually, why Lord have to speak this transcendental loving service to Narada Muni. So the reason he gives that because of his intense proportion of his devotional service. So because Narada Muni have that intensity of performing devotional service, and that's what attracted Krishna. And that's what he gave this science of Bhagavatam. So this science of pure devotional service. And also it is mentioned that this is the light, right? So this is Bhagavatam is compared to the light, because when Dwapara Yuga ends, like Krishna disappeared, right? So after Krishna disappeared, so then all the sages, they came together to analyze like what should we do for the people of Kali Yuga, because Krishna disappeared. So how are the Kali Yuga people are going to get out of this material entanglement? What should we do? So at that time, so that's what they prayed, and finally Suta Goswami came. So and of course, like before that, his father come, and then Balramji came and he killed. So that is a different thing. So but yeah, finally Suta Goswami took the position of speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's what it is mentioned. Srimad Bhagavatam is actually Krishna himself. Krishna came in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam gives the light. It shows the light. People in Kali Yuga will be in darkness. So they don't know anything like what is the purpose of this human form of life. So they don't know all those things. So definitely they will be in the darkness. So that's why Krishna came in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam in the lamp of knowledge, and it is giving the lamp of knowledge. So when we study Bhagavatam, so we can see like a mirror, right? So in front of mirror, if we go, so we can see what are our faults. So I mean, so literally not we can see the mirror, but at least we can, when we study the scriptures act like a mirror. So when we study, oh, this is how devotee act in different kinds of situation. So then we will know, oh, I was not acting like that. So I'm claiming that I am a devotee, but I'm not acting like that. So then it will show that, oh, this is the quality of a devotee. This is I have to learn and I have to practice it. So this is how our scriptures are actually acting like a mirror for us. So that's the reason that we should spend at least some time to study scriptures, like the scriptures is, and studying scriptures, and also because especially Bhagavatam. So the main reason is when we study especially the devotee's life. So when we study the devotee's life, because we need examples, right? So just philosophy will not able to really help us to practice, but we really need some examples. And Bhagavatam gives so many examples, so many devotees example life, and how they went through so many different kinds of situation, and how they acted on that type of situation and taking shelter of Krishna. So all those examples when we see, and that will actually gives a firm faith within us, right? So that's what it is actually. In that way, like we can develop our the real process of devotional service. Like the actually Prabhupada starts this particular purport as the devotee and the devotional service are two correlated terms, because when we say devotee, that means we have to perform devotional service. If we are not performing devotional service, so then we are not called as a devotee, right? So in devotional service means there are 9 processes of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. So all these 9 processes of devotional service we should perform. So then only, of course, like even one, if we can perform perfectly, then we can able to go back to Godhead. So that example also we have, how just by chanting, just by giving Bhagavatam class by Sukadev Goswami, just by speaking Bhagavatam, he attained perfection. And just by listening Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj attained perfection. Right, so we recently also talked about in the glories of Bhagavatam, that how the Dundukari and that pastime, in the Dundukari pastime, how actually that Gokarna, he helped his brother, and Bhagavatam was spoken for 7 days and 7 nights. So who was in the ghost form, so he got delivered by just listening Bhagavatam, and not just delivered, he got liberated. Even such a sinful person, he just by hearing Bhagavatam 7 days continuously, he got liberated and he attained the Swarupa Siddhi. So he attained Krishna's transcendental like 400 form. He got liberated. So, but we also saw that the people around, like because so many villages, everyone all came in that particular like, because when the Bhagavatam was recited for the Dundukari, so that time like all the villages also came together to listen Bhagavatam. And when the plane came, they took only Dundukari. They did not took all the sages, I mean all the villages. So the questions came like, why we also heard Bhagavatam, but why the airplane didn't come for us? So the reason is the proportion, the intensity of hearing, right? So it should not be like, okay, so because sometimes what happened in the process, even our bhakti becomes like a ritual, right? So, oh, I have to listen Bhagavatam, like in our sadhana card we can put a tick, yes, I did hear Bhagavatam today, yes, I did chant today. So just for putting a tick, if we do, then that is a ritual. This is not bhakti, right? So the bhakti have to really come within our heart. So that will happen when we really intensely do any kind of devotional service. It can be hearing, it can be chanting, or it can be any of the process of devotional service. So we should do consciously, right? Every time I insist on this point, because that is a only way that we can able to advance in our bhakti, because the process that we have, everything is perfect, right? So we can't say that process is not working for me. So because we see so many acharyas, they practiced and they perfected their life. So the process is perfect. Why it is not working for me? So I have to analyze, right? So I have to think like why this process is, everyone is saying that just by chanting one time Harinam, holy name, so we can able to attain Krishna Prema. Then why I'm chanting every day and so 16 rounds, and why it is not happening? So the reason is we are committing offenses, the 10 offenses for the holy name. And the process, what we are doing, we are not doing consciously. So that is the reason that we are not able to attain that the final goal of Krishna Prema. So of course this is a process, and this is a gradual process. Prabhupada also says this is a gradual process, so we should not get discouraged, but at the same time we should not become lethargic in our bhakti life, right? So because initial days when we come in bhakti, it will be very it will be very very enthusiastic, right? So I still remember like when I started Krishna conscious, so that time like it was so enthusiastic, like we will do so many services, and we will go for book distribution and all those services we will do. But then when we get initiation, and then like slowly we think that we are become a very great devotee now, I don't have to do all those services, so let me do whatever I can. So then we become stagnant there, so we will not progress, right? So that kind of stagnant point will come. We have to really look on that, like am I become stagnant in my bhakti life? That's why we see like people who follow this process of chanting for 30 years 40 years, but still there is no change in their behavior. Oh, they still chastise devotees, they still gossip, and they still do all kind of nonsense. So why, after chanting, but still why people are not changing? The reason is not just chanting artificially will help, right? So that's why we need scriptures. That's why we need Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam shows what is the quality of a devotee, and Bhagavad Gita also shows, and especially 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about what is devotional service and what kind of a devotee I like very much, right? So in that verse, so what is also related to our today topic, that Prabhupada says that this is spoken first, he spoke to Arjuna because he is a great devotee, right? Only if we are a devotee, then only we can understand Bhagavad Gita or any kind of scriptures, right? That's why Prabhupada says that before we start studying Bhagavad Gita, at least theoretically we should accept that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. If we don't accept Krishna as a Supreme Lord, then if we study for millions of years, we cannot understand Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, right? So that is the first thing. So if we are not a devotee, we cannot understand the science of devotional service. And the whole process, so the main here Prabhupada says that, so every jiva is part and parcel, and everyone have the minute independence. So everyone can act according to their own independence, right? So we cannot force, like Krishna doesn't want to force. So if he want to force, he could have forced in the spiritual world itself, like, okay, why are you going to material world? So stay with me, you have to love me. He can put the gun in if he put a gun in our head and say you have to love me, that is not a pure love. So that's why Krishna doesn't want that. So okay, so you want to enjoy separately without me, so I will send you into this material world and I will provide all the facilities. Krishna is so sweet and kind. Krishna give everything for the jiva. Even though we came out of Krishna, Krishna is so kind. He give everything, whatever you need for eating and for relishing, whatever we want, everything, all the facilities he gave, right? So Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita that I am the one who is a fire in your stomach for digestion. If Krishna doesn't act as a fire for digestion, we cannot even eat. So if we see like how much gratitude we should be for Krishna, right? So Krishna is the one who actually provide all the facilities and he give that independence. Okay, so now and also he does not leave. Okay, so this material world he give with problems. Why? Okay, we might think that oh, Krishna is so kind, he gave everything, but why he give the problems also in this material world, right? So that is the ultimate purpose, so that we can go back to Krishna. Otherwise we will just stay, even with so many problems also, we still don't want to get out of this material world. We are so attached. So then if we don't have any problem, then there is no option for thinking of Krishna also. So that's why Krishna says dukkhalayam ashashvatam. So this world is not permanent, and this world is full of dukkhalayam. So by and also he doesn't leave that, okay, it is a dukkhalayam, you have to suffer, then only you will remember me. No, he gave scriptures, he gave Bhagavatam, he gave Bhagavad Gita. So all these things we study and we understand this is just temporary, right? So so when we understand that this world is just temporary and all these things are temporary, then we don't complain on anything, right? So so for example, if there's so much it's winter, so much summer is going to come, so in the summertime, like, we get really sweat if there is no proper air facilities are there, or like air conditions are there. So but then so if, like, for example, this example, like Nitai Sivani Mataji lecture, I heard that she was telling that if we switch off the fan for some time, and we are saying that just for some time, like, because we are doing arti, so the lamp should not get switched off, so we should switch off the fan. And we might definitely feel so much sweating because of the summer, hot summer, but still we know that, okay, this is just for temporary time, like once arti is done, then they are going to switch on the fan, right? So this is very very gross example, small example. So similarly, this in this world, like whatever we face, this is all temporary, right? So that's why we should not think, oh, why this kind of problems are coming, or why this is not happening to me. This is all temporary anyway. Why we want to put our energy in the temporary things? Why we should put our mind in temporary things? Instead, like, we can focus on the Supreme Lord, and we can get out of this all this temporary material things. Right? That is our intelligence. So that's why Krishna gave all these scriptures, so that we can understand that. And also Prabhupada gave a very beautiful point, that preliminary qualification for entering into devotional service of the Lord. So we understand that devotional service is the only way we can achieve Krishna, and that is the only way we can please Krishna. So then what is a qualification to perform devotional service? What is a qualification? So Prabhupada says we have to become a willing cooperator. Cooperation. So one should voluntarily cooperate. It's not that there is option that we cannot, we don't have to do. There is no option. One should voluntarily cooperate with the persons who are already engaged in transcendental devotional service of the Lord. So that means devotees, right? So devotees only perform transcendental devotional service. So we should cooperate with the devotees. And when we cooperate with the devotees and progress, because we cannot do anything without devotees. This is 100%, right? So we can think that I know Bhagavatam, I know Bhagavad Gita, I have all the books in my home, so I don't have to go to temple, I can study on my own, I can attain Krishna. No, 100% it will not work. And that's also given in Bhagavatam. What will happen if we get out of the association of devotees? Bharat Maharaj, right? We all know the pastime of Bharat Maharaj. So he thought that he went to forest by giving up all association, and he is in bhava stage. So we should not think that, oh, maybe in the starting stage of Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. So Sadhu Sangha is done there itself. So once we come to the Bhajana Kriya, taking initiation, and then Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, when we come to those stages, though, then we don't need association. No. Association of devotees is must, even if we attain prema. It is also given, like, I could not get that verse, so there is a verse which is also mentioned that even when we go to prema stage also, association of devotees is needed. It is must. If we cannot cooperate with the devotees, then we cannot attain Krishna. This is 100%. So that is what Prabhupada says here, that we should voluntarily cooperate. And recently, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj spoke for, yesterday I was hearing for Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur appearance day. So Radhanath Maharaj spoke that somehow or other, this is an instruction also from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that somehow or other we should stop quarreling with the devotees, especially with the devotees. Of course, like everyone, like we should not even see that this is devotees and this is non-devotee. We never know, they might become a devotee sooner than we are progressing, like because today they might be a non-devotee, and when they start practicing, because of their past karma, they can quickly advance more than us. We never know who is devotee, who is non-devotee. So we should never ever think or judge anyone by just externally seeing that, oh, he just came or she just came, so we don't have to respect or we don't have to deal with them so nicely. So we should not think like, that's why His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu says that we should not even call them as a non-devotee. We should call them as a prospective devotee, like they will become a devotee soon. So in that way, when we see that, we will not behave improperly with anyone, right? So that is a quality of a devotee. And especially in Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter, I really like this verse: adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna evacha nirmamo nirhangara samadukka shuka shami संतुष्ट सततम योगी यदात्मा दृढ़ निश्चय मयि अर्पिता मनोबुद्धिर यो मद भक्त समे प्रियः. So this is verse 13-14 from 12th chapter. So Krishna says that adveshta, non-envious, one who is non-envious, he is very favorite for me, and he is very kind friend to all the living entities, free from false ego, who is equal in happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination. His mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So this is the quality of devotee. We should really stick in our home. There are 36 qualities in this chapter. Krishna explains what is the quality of a devotee. We should take each and every point and we should stick in every place of our home, that this is the quality Krishna likes. And I want to become dear to Krishna. So what should I do? So when we get agitated, we should see the word tolerant. Yes, I should be tolerant. I should not get agitated. So I should not get angry. So these points, like again and again, we should meditate. So then only we can able to practice. It's not that one day I hear Bhagavatam, then that's it. It's not that level of hearing will help us. So we should, the study of Bhagavatam or any scriptures will actually help us when we introspect, when we go deeper and think, what did I learn in today class and what should I implement? What are the faults in me? What should I implement? So in this way, when we really focus, then only we can able to progress in bhakti path. Otherwise, bhakti is not so easy. Actually, Prabhupada says bhakti is simple for the simple devotee, complicated for the complicated devotees. So what that means? So simple for the simple devotee means like a devotee who is just transparent. This is what I am. Like they will not do a duplicity, right? So externally they show that, oh, I am such a very nice devotee, but internally they have so much anarthas. Internally they have so many things which is going on, thinking bad about others and all those things. So, but externally they show very nice, and they will not even properly follow process within their own perspective, but externally they show that, oh, they are very much advanced. So these all hypocritic. So one should not be hypocritic or duplicity. So the one who is not duplicit, so he is called as a simple devotee. So if he remains simple, so then bhakti process will be simple. Otherwise it is very tough. It's not so easy. And of course, like Krishna is a supreme lord. Just to see some president of this material world itself is very tough. Then to see Krishna, we should put our effort. It's not just easy we can get. And also we have to really introspect that ISKCON is not the place that where we can just go nicely dance and eat and chit chat with the devotees. How are you? Everything is going good. Okay, then fine, bye. That is not for ISKCON, is not for that. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that ISKCON is a hospital. Everyone who comes is a patient, and we should understand what is our disease and we should take treatment for that disease. If we are not taking the treatment, if we don't think that I am not diseased, so then just like Krishna conscious will become goody goody Krishna consciousness, right? So, oh, everything is good, I will just come dance. So that's why we see many people, they come to temple for years and years, and when we ask like, are you chanting, they say, oh no, I always chant Hare Krishna. So there is no count and all, I always chant. So this is all excuse that they are not chanting. So how it is possible? Like, we count and give money. Are we saying that, oh, I will not count, I will give like that only? No, we value the money, so we count it. So that means a Mahamantra also we have to count, right? So this is all excuse that people say, that the reason is because they don't understand the importance of the scriptures. So they don't, they just do a ritual. That's all they are doing. Like people who are not practicing even after many years, so they just see this as a ritual. So okay, so the main point, what Srila Prabhupada here, he mentioned here is, so we have to coordinate, so cooperate. That's what also one time to Srila Prabhupada, so the devotees asked like, Prabhupada, how will you pleased? So what service will please you? And everyone was guessing, oh, book distribution will please you, because you always says that Srila, your Guru Maharaj told like to print more books. So book distribution will please you. So Prabhupada said no. And then someone is saying DT service. Prabhupada said no. So like this, everyone is telling like different services, and Prabhupada said no. And finally, Prabhupada said, if you all cooperatively work for Krishna, that is what it pleases me. If we are not cooperating, and if we say that I am best in this service, I am best in that service, it is not going to please Krishna or please Prabhupada, right? So we have to please Prabhupada means, so we have to cooperatively work. So when we, if we are not cooperating here, then how we can go to spiritual world? Because in spiritual world, there is no enmity, there is no dvesha. So that is the only thing which is keeping us in this material world. So why we have to be in this material world by just being enmity on others, right? So very beautiful point I saw in that there is a verse, I missed like which verse I took this note. So there is a verse where Srila Prabhupada says, devotee is not envious. If suppose we are not envious, but someone is envious on us, so how we should think? So Prabhupada mentioned, this person acting as my enemy due to my own past misdeeds, so it's better to suffer than to protest. So it's better to suffer. So it's that is the nature of a devotee. Like, we should not go and rebuke them, like how, why they are rebuking me, I will also do tit for tat. This is not the quality of devotee. So of course, like lot of points Prabhupada mentioned here. So this is all about devotional service. So when we perform this kind of devotional service with cooperation with the devotee, so then only we can attain the genuine attachment for the devotional service of the Lord. Because unless we please Vaishnavas, we cannot advance in bhakti. If we are enmity on Vaishnavas who carries Krishna in their heart, we cannot progress in bhakti. So this is a very important point. Like, we can able to attain Krishna only through devotees. And the last paragraph Prabhupada says about, so such knowledge of devotional service divided into two sections, which is preliminary knowledge and the secondary knowledge. So preliminary knowledge, so sambandha and abhideya, right? So sambandha is, we should understand who am I and what is my relation with Krishna. And then next process is abhideya, execution will come, the process of devotional service, right? So Bhagavatam gives everything. What is your identity? So what is our identity and what should we do? So to attain that prema. So basically Bhagavatam, if we study, that's why Amala Puran, Bhagavatam is called Amala Puran. So if you just study Bhagavatam sincerely, then we can able to attain Krishna very easily, because Bhagavatam covers everything, right? So, and who can able to understand the two sections of transcendental knowledge and devotional service becomes revealed to a person who is a soul surrendered unto Vasudev, because these scriptures are not ordinary books, right? So it is Krishna. Krishna is independent. Only if he want to reveal, he will reveal. So that's why we need the surrender. So if we don't surrender, then the knowledge will not be revealed to us. We think I am more knowledgeable, I can study and I can understand. So then Krishna will not reveal. How much ever we study, we cannot understand. So for that, we need surrender. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. So Krishna says that such a rare is very, very rare. Such a soul is very, very rare. So we have to come to that point of surrender. Surrender starts from humility. Trinatapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So we have to be humble, we have to be tolerant, and we have to amanina manadena. This is a very tough point to follow. Even we can try tolerant and humble, but the real test is amanina manadena, not expecting respect from others and giving respect even though we didn't get respect. That is a very tough thing, because if someone doesn't respect us, immediately our ego will come. So if we can able to follow this one verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu give us a essence. Like if we can able to follow this verse, then we can actually follow the surrender. And when we surrender, so then it will reveal the real process of devotional service. And if we understand that, then we practice, then we can perfect our life and go back home, back to God ahead. So with this, I stop here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, पतित पावन श्रील गुरु महाराज की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. Thank you so much. Please forgive me if anything I talk something wrong. So yeah, please
Hare
share.
Krishna Mataji. Beautiful class. I couldn't stop hearing. Even I was like working and like for school and all. It was very nice, Mataji, everything. I have no quality at all to become a devotee. I have to work on all of these every day. I cannot
This is
tolerate.
always good. Even though we are progressing, but still we should not think that we are progressed, we are advanced. So we should always think that I'm not a qualified.
Yeah. One thing, Mataji, you said like if you don't know you have to accept Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, then you can understand Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, if you read for 30-40 years, you will not attain Krishna. And that I wanted to ask, like, then when we book distribution, right? When you do give people books, they don't know who is Krishna, but we're still giving them books. How is that gonna work for them?
So this is Krishna's mercy. Without Krishna's mercy, that person will not get Bhagavad Gita. If person is getting Bhagavad Gita, that means Krishna already showered the mercy to that person. That's why he got the Bhagavad Gita. So of course, then after that depends on his desire, intense desire. So then Krishna will reveal. If he doesn't have desire, he just put in the shell. And who is actually have to become a devotee, he will study that and he will become a devotee. So it's our responsibility that Prabhupada says books are like bombs. You just put, and whenever it is required, it will burst. So whenever the time comes, it will burst. So we just have to be a instrument. Nimitta matrena bhavasavya sachin. So we just be instrument, and then rest all Krishna will take care.
Okay, Mataji. And some people like they took the book because I don't know why. Sometimes we talk like lot of things, and they took the book, but I don't think they're really reading. Sometimes one person I try a lot. I was like, I don't know so much. I have some problem with English, So I try to explain him about the, Bhagavad Chotushloki Gita, like Aham Sarvasva Prabhav Maktash. I was explaining, try to explain him. I said, please read those 4, then you will understand a little bit. But he never came back and said like, I read.
Yeah, we
I
cannot.
don't know.
I mean, definitely we should. If we know that person, then it is. If we say reading, it's not it will work. So it's otherwise like what we can do. Like we have a book reading. So like in temple we do, right. So different types of a group of book reading. So it is a very nice culture that we should bring in devotees. Community that is a group of book reading should be go on constantly.
Yeah,
So
they
some
really need
devotees
the
like come in a
devotees
group.
association.
Yeah.
Association is the best thing.
So
First.
when we come and read together, that will help. So we can call that person. So we are reading. You can come and join with us. So we are reading every day. So in that way, we can encourage them. So otherwise, like we cannot force anyone. So until they
Yeah,
come to that
I
point.
sometimes I think like there could be a miracle like Prabhupada did, right? So they can read the books and become a devotee, but it's not happening like that
So one
for
fine
us.
day he will come and
Prabhupada
tell
can
you.
do it, but we can.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
fine
So
day
it's
he'll thank you.
Krishna will decide. It's all everyone have their different baggage of karma, right? So that's what we cannot force on anyone. So Krishna also says, right? It's very rare. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. It's not everyone can take up Krishna consciousness so easily. We have to perform so many lifetimes. Then only one can able to take up. So we just have to be instrument and give, and then Krishna will take care.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you
Hare
very much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much,
Mother
Mataji.
Shamla Gopika Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Go ahead.
And
You have a question, Mother Vinjavali?
No, you go ahead,
You
Prabhu.
can go first. Uh, you made the point earlier about listening to Bhagavatam, and we can't just check it off on our sadhana chart that okay, we did this today. So sometimes a person could understand that and think that why are we going through these things anyway? Why do we keep track of our rounds? Why do we have to each time 6 1 bead, 2 beads, 3 beads, all the way to 16? Isn't this just mechanical? Shouldn't it just be free and open and I just express my heart to Krishna? Maybe that's why I'm not getting the love, because it's not I'm doing things too mechanically. So in one sense we have this sadhana chart that is to keep us on track, but in the other sense is that the sadhana alone, just by simply just doing it mechanically, is not going to bring us there. So how are we to balance that and understand?
Yeah. So very sincere question. So thank you for bringing that through. So actually, we should not think that why I have to count and this is mechanical. So this is not mechanical. This is a science actually. So because why we have to sit and we have to move the beats and then we have to focus, we chant and we hear. Actually, all our senses are being engaged, right? So by chanting, our tongue is engaged and we are hearing, and then we are touching. Our touching sensation is coming with the contact with the beats, and then our eyes is seeing the deities. So in this way, all our senses are engaged. If our one of our senses is not engaged, so then it is very tough to really focus on anything. So that is why first of all we use the beats to chant, right? And then counting, why I should do only 16 rounds. So definitely, I mean, it should be, Krishna says sadatam kirtayanto mam. We should chant all the time, 24 hours. So practically, we cannot, I mean, we should do, we have to do. So it's at least Prabhupada said we should dedicate some time of at least minimum 16 rounds. Prabhupada said minimum 16 rounds only. It's not maximum. So minimum 16 rounds, we have to sit and really connect with Krishna. This is a time that me and Krishna only. There is no other should come in between. So that's why the Brahma Muhurta time is mentioned for our morning sadhana. So sadhana means morning sadhana. We should perform our sadhana in the morning itself so that no other worldly disturbance will be there, right? So then we can really focus and consciously do what I am doing, right? So otherwise, like if all the people start getting up and everything, family or all there, so then we get distracted, or this sound and that sound, like we get distracted. So that's why we focus on the holy name when we are like in the morning Brahma Muhurta, so we can peacefully sit and focus on the holy name. And it is not actually ritual or mechanical, because we don't understand the way that we have to do, right? So because that's why Srila Prabhupada gave Sikshashtakam prayers, right? So he set our morning program, like we first actually do Guru Vandana, Samsara Daba, and then we do Tulsi Arti. So Tulsi Arti, we ask for begging for to be in Dham, to serve Sri Radha Krishna. So these are all the prayers which is building up our consciousness. And then when we chant Sikshashtakam prayers, so we should meditate on those verses, each and every verse. All the prayers, what we are singing, we should not sing like a parrot, right? So we should really meditate on those meanings. So all the Sikshashtakam prayers, like each verse we can meditate for like 1 round or 2 rounds. It is very powerful meditation. This really, personally, it helps me. So when we personally meditate on each verse, so like second verse says that so the second one starts like no, that is sixth one. So चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकवितरणं विद्यावद्जीवनम् आनन्दमुदिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परमजिते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनं नाम नाम अखारि बहुधा निजशर्वशक्तिश् तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपात् भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमेदृशं याजनि नानुराग. Krishna, you have so many names. Why you have so many names? And you invest all the energy and potency in that name. But still, Durdaivam, I am such a fallen soul. I am not getting attracted. Why this condition? Please help me, Krishna. Please help me. And then in the fourth verse also we say, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Krishna, I don't want anything. I just want your devotional service. Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti ragaitu kitvai. And then patitam kinkaram, right? So fifth one again. न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरघैतु कि त्वयि अयि नन्द तनुज किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवापुतो कृपया तव पाद पंकज सिद्धूलि सदृशं विचिन्तय. Krishna, please accept me. Somehow or other I fallen into this ocean of material world, so please take me, pick me, and keep as a dust in your lotus feet. So these are all our mood when we chant. These are all our prayers when we chant. So we should really repent for whatever the mistakes that we have done. And we should repent how much time I wasted in my life. And now you're so now we have to be very grateful, like both kind of these feelings of repentance and gratitude of Prabhupada, like how Prabhupada saved me, how devotees saved me. Now I am here, I am chanting your holy name, how I should be feel grateful, right? So this kind of mood we should bring. And when we beg and chant, and that time, like we really relish the holy name. So when we do it consciously with this prayerful mood, so then nothing become mechanical. So that is a one thing that I can share, bro, which I heard from devotees. Is that helpful?
Yeah, no, thank you, Mataji, for explaining that. So in reference to doing things like keeping that mood that you were just explaining, but at the same time keeping something like a sadhana card, you know, because one may ask the question, why need something like a sadhana card? Why need to keep the counter beats on your japa, right? because that's the portion that sometimes in people's minds becomes the mechanical part. Why do I have to tick? Okay, check this box, check that box, check that box. So we're not, as you nicely explained, you want to develop the mood of love and devotion, but if we don't have these items such as a sadhana card or counter beads on our japa, my understanding is that the tendency will come in where the cheating mentality could arise, where a person says, okay, I did enough today. Or our minds will drift off and we won't become steady. We haven't come to the point of nishta yet, of being fixed. So keeping these two elements together, they're not necessarily, one does not exclude you from the other. In other words, by keeping a sadhana card and keeping counter beads doesn't exclude you from listening with your heart and trying to develop your pure love for Krishna. And I think sometimes people they see them as kind of fighting each other.
Yeah, actually, the beats also we should not think as a mechanical. So we can even meditate, like many devotees told that we are massaging the lotus feet of Krishna. So each beats is actually we can massage, like we think that we are massaging the lotus feet of Krishna now. So in that mood also we can chant and use the beats. And when we say that mind always tricks us that okay, so why we have to do this counting and all. So that's why I told us as we count money, right? So we don't give without counting. So we value it. So whatever we value, we count. So that's why we are counting. So to keep a commitment that, yes, I will do this much count at least. So, and of course, we should do continuously, like more and more, like that is the ultimate perfection, that we should chant all the time. Tongue should not stop. Any work we do, tongue should not stop. Chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. While we drive, like any time, like you can keep constantly chanting. So that is not going to stop. So that should not stop. And even doing work also, His Grace Adi Adar Prabhu mentioned that even while doing work also, like sometimes it's very hard, like because we are focusing on the work, like how we can chant. So even that time also he said, like put an alarm. Every 10 minutes, put an alarm and stop and chant one time Hare Krishna. So in this way, like we can able to remember Krishna's name. And it's not mechanical by ticking the chart, that actually will help us. If we do sincerely, that actually help us to track our advancement. So how I progress, like even literally, like in this last visit, like last week, we had a good fortune of His Grace Amarendra Prabhu was here in Richmond for a week. So we had a good association, and he was telling that we should maintain in the sadhana chart even whether I am angry today. So did I get angry today? And the next day, did I get agitated by anything? Even that also we should track. So then we know whether we are progressing or not. Every Ekadashi to Ekadashi, we should keep a track. So this is all a sincere attempt to progress, not as a mechanically we are doing. So if our mood is in progressing, then everything will help us. Hope this helps too. Sorry, actually, I have to leave. It's already 9:05. My office call started.
Oh,
Join now.
Thank you for explaining this, Mataji, very nicely. I always enjoy the time that you spend with us, and we're grateful that, even though you're down in your commitments in Virginia of serving Srila Prabhupada's movement, that you take the time to come here and share Krishna consciousness with us in Philadelphia. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, जय प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. Thank you
very much. Nice class.